Welcome to the Bree Pod. I'm here with Rachel Strivelli, who's a dream expert and manifesting teacher. Hi, Rachel.
Hi, Bree. I'm excited to be here with everyone.
Yes, I'm so excited to have you here. I know that originally we met off of resolutions, and then it was like, we can't just have this just be resolutions with dreams, And I think it's going to really pair well off of the new year and kicking off a different kind of manifesting. And you do dream manifesting. But before we get into that, I would love for you to share a little bit about yourself.
Sure, I'd love to. So I love manifesting in dreams, and you'll see that later because I won't be able to stop talking about it. And I live in Greenville, South Carolina, and I have been gardening and dreaming pretty much all my life, and those have led me to various places. And I'm a former school teacher. I'm and science specifically. So I love the sciences, but metaphysical things and mystical things have always drawn me in as well. So I always like to be involved a little bit in both. And several years ago, I became an organic gardening coach because a lot of people I knew asked me for advice. And over time, my intuition kept on speaking up and saying, help people with more than just gardens. And so I listened and expanded to be more, the most general way to say it is a life coach. But I like to hone in on the manifesting aspect and dreams because I truly believe that we each have the power to create a life that feels aligned with our desires and that feels really happy and that feels very fulfilling. And not to say that every single minute is going to feel like a party, but something that feels true to us.
Yeah, I think that's beautiful. And it's kind of interesting that you came from the science background, but also love the metaphysical. That's really cool.
Yeah, I know. Every time I get too far one way, something about the other side kind of calls me back. So now it's just both of them are in my life.
That's awesome. So tell me, I know that you talked about being a coach.
Mhm.
How did the dreams come into play?
Yes. So for quite a while, it was more just a tool that I was using. And in the last 2 years, as everything with the pandemic was happening, and lives changed because we had to, in doing a lot of my reflection and soul searching, I was realizing, okay, the trajectory I was on with my coaching, it was okay, but there was still an element, and I was receiving signs, this isn't 100% the right direction. And like a lot of things in life, it's one of those things I could keep on going in that direction, but then I'll end up somewhere that might not be where I wanted to be. And so I took the time over the last year or two to really reflect on, well, do I want to just coach people on anything, or what are really my gifts that are unique that I bring to the table and bring to my interactions with people? And all my life, I've been a vivid dreamer. As a young child, I would sit at the kitchen table in the morning and tell my parents these dreams that would go on for 15 minutes. And they're thinking, oh my, that all happened in one dream. And my dreams also give me messages. And I believe that for all of us, they can. And we'll get more into that. But so some of the messages of my dreams have guided me to make certain decisions, to make different decisions. Like I've had my dreams advise me to break up with people, or that some people were not to be trusted. And later I found out, well, those things happen. Like, well, the one person, I didn't break up with him, but he broke up with me. So I could have done it first if I would have followed what the dreams were telling me. And it's one of those things that I feel I'm really into us using tools that are accessible to all of us, because not all of us can go away for a weekend or a week and do a silent retreat or do tons of yoga, and or we might not have the money or the time or the whatever, but we all are sleeping at some point. And so dreams are really accessible, and anyone can dream and everyone can dream. And so I find it's one of the most excellent tools that we can use to know ourselves better, because they're also very, very personal. You know, you and I, even if we had, let's say we worked at the same place or we're taking classes together, or even if we were on vacation together, if we had our whole day, the same events happening to you and to me, we would still have different dreams related to those events and different experiences. And so because our dreams are so personal, it's like another mirror or place of exploration to get to know yourself even more.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. I love that you said you're a vivid dreamer, because I don't meet a lot of people like that. Like, I also dream every single night, and I remember all of them. And I talk to a lot of my friends, and they're like, "Oh, I don't remember my dream. I know I dreamt, but I don't remember it." And I'm like, "How do you not? I remember them all." And they keep telling me I should like write them down, but I haven't done it.
Well, that's okay. But one thing that I sometimes do is, if I don't feel like writing it down, I will get my phone and do a voice memo or a voice text to myself to write it down. Or sometimes I even just make a video. So it'll be a video, me eating breakfast, talking to my phone about my dream. And that's a nice way to keep track of it. Because like your friends who don't feel like they dream that much, they are more likely to remember it if you start writing it down or documenting it in some way. Or, you know, if somebody's really visual, draw a picture if that's what you like. Sometimes I dream vivid scenes and then I'll draw a drawing of it so I can remember it. But like with a lot of other things in life, if you start making the decision, I'm going to pay more attention to this, it will increase and you'll notice it more. And people who study dreams have found that probably about half the population thinks that they don't dream at all, or they're like your friends who they say, I don't really remember it. But if, let's say you were taking a dream class, like I have one I'm going to be teaching online. And in the dream class, I'm going to say, it's your homework to try and remember them. If you were in school and you had homework, you're probably going to do it. So you would make an effort to do it. And so even just the intention of, I'm going to try and remember my dream. And if you tell yourself before you go to bed, okay, I want to try and remember this in the morning. And then in the morning, whatever you have dreamt, even if all you remember is there was an apple on a table, okay, we'll put that down in your notebook.
That's true. That's true. I do agree that if you make it an intention, then you would definitely be more apt to do it. I've never not dreamed, so I don't, or dreamt. How would you say?
Yeah.
I've never not dreamt. But so I don't know that life of not, but I know that sometimes I'll tell myself, because there are dreams that I'll remember very like almost blurry if I wait too long, especially in the morning, if I wait too long from waking up. So I'll try to like make myself remember. I'll be like, who did I see in that dream? Who did I see? And then I'll like come up with it. But last night, it's so funny. I had like a very, very vivid dream. I know where I was. I know who the people were. And I was really upset. So it's so funny.
Yeah, it is funny. Well, and one of the things you just mentioned is another good tool that you can use. So I will sometimes wake up in the middle of the night and have a dream that I feel that I want to remember, but I don't always want to wake up and write it down. Sometimes I do. And I have a little candle that or a low light. I won't turn on the bright lights, but I'll turn on a small light or grab one of my kids' flashlights and write down my dream and then go back to bed. But other times, if I don't feel like doing that, I just repeat it in my head a few times, like go through what the scenes were. And I tell myself, okay, I want to remember this in the morning. I want to remember this. And sometimes I don't remember it till later in the day. if I dreamt of the neighbor and then later in the day I see them, sometimes that's the moment where I think, oh yes, I dreamt of that person. And so that it doesn't, most of us, depending on how we wake up, that is one we're most likely to remember. But I will also find events in my day will trigger a memory, and it can all come flooding back. And in those moments, if I can, I grab my dream journal, or as I said, my phone with the notes app, and I'll put it down and spend a little time reflecting on what I think about that dream and how it made me feel.
Ah, that's really cool. I think I should try this and really try it, put actual effort because my friends are always like, write it down. I'm like, oh, but the stuff that I dream, like I think video makes more sense, or the voice thing.
Yes.
So I wanted to ask you, with dreams, you said that you can manifest within a dream. How do you do that?
Yes. And so, and first I want to clarify, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen overnight. I mean, that would be nice. Maybe in a few years, I'll come back on the podcast and be like, now I can do it overnight.
Yeah.
But I feel that most of us aren't at that level, so that's okay. So for example, recently I was working on improving my money mindset. And I wouldn't say that it was bad, but I knew it was an area that I wanted to work with. And so what I would do is every night before I would go to bed, I would review some of the affirmations that I was working on, and be visualizing how I thought my life would be when I had the money mindset that I desired to have. And so here's what I started noticing. I started dreaming dreams that were a lot about me either losing friends, having rich friends, and I wasn't included, or various versions of that for several nights in a row. I mean, I probably had 6 or 7 dreams of one relation of that theme or another. And what I realized was, as I was going to sleep and these affirmations and questions and mantras were getting into my brain, my subconscious, my soul, all of that good stuff, what was bubbling up was my own beliefs and blockages. So I'm pretty certain that I had a belief that I'm pretty much working on dissolving right now, or releasing, that if I'm really financially successful, that I will either lose the friends that I have, or that I won't have good friends, or do I want to be friends with those people? So it was all about connection and friendship. And, you know, culturally speaking, there are lots of beliefs about what people with money are like, or what people with a lot of money are like, and or how they treat other people and things like that. So it's not that any of these beliefs consciously I was like, well, yeah, I think I'm going to be lonely and have no friends, or all rich people are snobby. I didn't consciously adopt any of those, but some of them were with me. And so in my dreams, as I started seeing this, I then realized, okay, I need to shift how I believe and feel what's going to happen with my personal relationships as I have more financial success in my life. And I want to start paying attention to who are financially successful people who I admire, who have a lot of friends. And as I started doing this, and I was still, as I said, every night going to sleep and doing my money manifesting mantras and whatnot, my dreams changed. And so I definitely feel that they were pretty much showing me, like, here's what's going on internally as you are trying to manifest this thing. And one of the interesting things I know about manifesting is a lot of times we can think that we want something and like have a conscious desire, and maybe we truly do want it, or maybe it's just culturally what people do, and so we think, okay, that's what I want next. But with manifesting, you're not going to bring it into your life if it's not aligned and integrated with who you are. And what I find is your dreams they're not going to lie to you about who you are. They're going to help show more depth about your being, what you embody, your beliefs, and all of that. And so I think it's a really amazing and super effective way to connect and know yourself better, so that then you can make different choices or, do different practices. And so I don't think that we can, or at least I don't know yet if we could purely use only dreams for manifesting, but I feel it's a really great part of the practice. And the other cool thing is it doesn't take any extra time other than, whatever you like. I like to do, as I said, the mantras before I go to sleep. I was already doing that anyway, but inviting that into my dreams and playing around with that, then I'm working things out in my dreams and drawing new experiences to me, and sometimes dreaming of the lavish lifestyle. I don't really need a lavish lifestyle, but dreaming of the things that I want to manifest. And so it's another way of helping bring that embodiment of it into my life and into anyone else who wants to use it in this way into your life.
Wow, that's so cool. And it's so true that you don't really have to give more time, because we sleep. We have to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
At least we should be sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm very curious. I know right now you're working on money. Has there been anything prior that you have manifested for yourself?
Well, so a lot of, I would say the last 2 years, I focused on looking at my business and things with my children. So my son is a very poor sleeper. We've taken him to a pediatric sleep doctor. So he's at an extreme end of poor sleep, and they're treating him for chronic insomnia. And so there've been a number of times I'll ask my dreams, can I get more information about how to work with this? And sometimes my dreams will give me really clear instructions, like that night, about a decision to make. And so this is another great way that dreams can be a tool. So a couple months ago, there was a coach that I was thinking about working with who I liked. And I felt pretty good on my one-on-one call with her, but I was still a little bit unsure. And so I thought, okay, I'm going to ask my dreams. My dreams that night were very clear that we were not a good match. And I've had enough dreams over the years and been tracking this enough to know that I'm going to trust what I receive. And the message was very clear. This is a no. And so I wouldn't necessarily say that that's like a thing that I manifested, but it makes it easier, the decision making. And I mean, I will say since then, so I said, no, I'm not going to work with you. And then I've been open to who else is going to come into my life that I do want to work with. And then I would say like 6 weeks later, I don't remember if it was a dream. I think I was sitting in meditation and this woman's head popped in, or her face popped into my head. And I thought, oh, I should see if she coaches people. And she did. And so then I'm working with her. And every time I meet, it feels amazing. And so I definitely know that you can use it. And like a lot of things, the more that you develop your own language and understanding of your dreams and how they speak to you, or the intuition that you have about various things, the more it can a little bit accelerate or move things on along more quickly so that you can bring it into your life.
Okay. Yeah, that's cool. Okay. I love that you're able to be told in your dream, like if this is a match, or this isn't a match, because a lot of times I think that we are searching so hard for clarity with stuff. So it's nice to know that like in your dreams, you can find clarity as well.
Mm-hmm.
One of the questions I have would be so let's say we want to do this. We're like, okay, I'm going to manifest in my dreams, or even ask questions. What advice would you give to do this? I know one of them was that you can't expect it to happen in one shot. So like, what advice would you give from there?
Yes. So I definitely think we mentioned before, finding some way to write it down. And even though I'm saying the words write it down, again, if it's a video or if whatever you're doing to track your dreams is important, I think. And the other aspect of it that I think is really key is this way of developing your own language or understanding of what do the symbols in your dreams mean. So, for example, what if I had a big fear of dogs? I don't, but let's just say that I did. If you dream about a dog and I dream about a dog, it's going to mean something very different to each of us.
Yeah.
And so similar to intuition, I feel like it's a very personal thing that you need to get to know for yourself. So if I dream of animals attacking me, I know this isn't a sign, watch out for animals attacking you in your daily life. It's a sign that I have emotions building up about something and I'm not dealing with it. And it's going to come out in an explosion. And so whenever I start dreaming about animals attacking me, then I think I need to look at my life and step back, because so many of us are really used to living life at kind of a fast pace. And there's information bombarding us all the time too. So it's not even like we're all choosing, hey, I want to live a fast-paced life. We live in a fast-paced world. And so having quiet space and reflection time is so essential, because you could be having amazing dreams every night, but if you're too busy to spend time to reflect on them, think about them, or do anything about it, do anything differently, then it doesn't matter how many dreams that, you know, your soul or your mind is sending to you. You're just like driving on the freeway, ignoring it all. And so in addition to paying attention to your dreams and being curious, I think it's really incredible to make sure that you have some time in your life every day, if you can, to be reflective. And, you know, for some people that's meditation, for other people, maybe it's a walk, but you need that quiet space for new awareness and also to put together the pieces. Because like the dream with that woman I was just sharing, that was a pretty clear answer. But I've had other dreams where I mean, a lot of us have random dreams and you think, what does it mean that there was a jewelry box with a pomegranate inside? I don't know. And you're thinking, I wanted some facts I could work with here. But then you spend the time reflecting and you think, well, how did I feel about the jewelry box? How do I feel about the pomegranate? And then maybe the next night you have another dream. So I see it, it's almost like a storybook. So, but each page is somehow related to the next, and your job is to figure out, well, how does this relate to that? Because some people have reoccurring dreams where it's almost the same thing every night until the issue is resolved. But for most of us, it's like a new way of seeing a problem, but maybe from a whole different angle and with all different elements and characters. And so by taking the time to reflect maybe over a week's worth of dreams and think, okay, well, what was happening in a lot of these? And what I also like about it is, in addition to the fast-paced worlds we live in, they're also so very logical. But most successful people, and, you know, we can call success in all different kinds of ways, but people who people look up to and think, oh, these are amazing role models. Many of them at some point or another made non-logical, totally intuitive decisions. And some of that has to come from a willingness to look at things in a new way. And I think our dreams are a great way to explore this intuitive messaging that's coming up, and to see, well, what could this mean that, you know, I'm dreaming about a garden party or my teacher from, you know, algebra in high school.
Oh my gosh. You had me think so many thoughts because first off, a lot of the stuff you mentioned, I've had dreams of, so it made me like have little clips of these dreams.
That's fun.
But second off, well, actually, I do want to share one of my dreams because you talked about how animals attacking you. There's this one dream that I have documented by telling my therapist, number one. And number two, I like kept it with me because I've never had this experience in my life before, or the feeling. But basically, I was in this room, which was supposed to be my house. And I was supposed to be showing people each room. But somewhere along the lines, I lost the people that I was showing. And I went into my living room, and there's like this big window. And all of a sudden, I kept seeing animals in pairs. I saw like two birds. I saw two kitty cats playing. One was like black and white, and they were playing with each other. I saw like two, I can't even remember what was over here, but I saw like two in pairs. But then I saw a tiger, and I was scared. I felt like at first I was like, wow, this is so beautiful. Like they're all in twos. And then this tiger came in. I'm like, oh, please don't eat me. And I literally did that with my hand because he came to me. I'm like, please don't eat me. But then the tiger stopped. And I thought that it was me by being like, please don't eat me. But I looked up, and there was this beautiful big lion looking at me. And it was gorgeous. Like, I've always loved lions, but this lion just looked at me, and I felt safe, calm. Like in some ways, I really thought that I had saw God. I know that sounds like probably obnoxious, but I just have
I don't think it sounds obnoxious. I think it sounds amazing.
I've never had this overwhelming feeling of love and calm. Like I was not scared. I was protected. And that was the most beautiful dream I've ever, I have not had a dream that amazing. And it was this year that I had it. And I cannot explain the feeling. It is I've never felt it before. It was beautiful.
Yes. I'm so glad you shared that. Can I talk a little bit about some of my thoughts?
Yeah, I would love for that.
Okay. So, I think how I will describe this is one of the reasons I love dreams is I feel like there's so many nuances. And in the one you just shared, at the end of it, I do feel like you were having a transcendental spiritual experience. And so you love lions, which is awesome. So this creature that you love showed up, and then feeling all the love pouring out of it and feeling like you saw God. I think for all we know, like when we're asleep, if our soul is traveling to different places, that is you communing with the creator, God, through the form of a lion. And I think that's amazing. And I think so some of the dreams feel like, okay, maybe it's just in our head, but some of them, I think we're interacting with other beings or consciousness. Or I had a dream this week that a little bit reminds me of your dream. And I was meeting with spiritual teacher. It turned out to be Rumi, the poet. I don't know if you know who he is, but I love him. But I haven't followed him for years. But in the dream, he was there, and gold specks were floating all through the air. And it was a little bit like you talked, like there was so much love and appreciation between me and him. And I was thinking, oh, I'm so glad you're here. And I was thinking, great, like I'd love if you want to teach me your good stuff, that you know, all your wisdom. But he was acting like I was his teacher as well. And I was like, okay, I guess I can go along with that. And similar to how you said, when I have a really good dream that makes me feel amazing, I return to it again and again and again, because I think there's a reason. It's almost like a gift that we were given that we can use to make us feel good and inspire us and keep us moving back to whatever we feel called to do in the world and energize us. And, you know, all throughout history, many people have felt like dreams are messages from the spirit world or from God and whatnot. And it's like, so maybe sometimes God is saying, don't talk to that person or don't work with them. And maybe sometimes God is just like, I love you. Oh, you're amazing. Here's a beautiful lion. Here's their favorite poet. Like, and I think, and life is kind of like that too. Sometimes we're all about making decisions, and sometimes we're just having a good meal and a celebration and being with loved ones. So I think, how wonderful is that?
Thank you. And I love that you had a dream as well, because it's something you can't explain, or you can explain, but it's just not the same. Like I can feel it again. I can like go back and think of that dream and just be like, but thank you for sharing yours as well. I think that's so cool. It's really awesome. You definitely have given me a different perspective on my dreams and actually putting, the work in of writing it down, or at least logging it, because I think that that's going to be very beneficial for me. So thank you for that.
You're welcome.
But I'd love for you to share. I know that you talked about having a course. What is your course about?
Well, so I'm still in the creation stages of it, but it's almost done. And it is, so a little bit of what I shared already will be in the course. And it goes a little bit deeper into analyzing our dreams and working with our dreams. And then the other component of it that I think is going to be really fun is people who take the course, and some of it will be delivered over Zoom. So, we'll be able to connect, is sharing our dreams with other people and hearing their thoughts about them, because that's another powerful thing that can happen. And I think it's really important to validate what other people have experienced with their dreams, or the cool things that happen, like your dream I'm so excited about. And also, there's something interesting that can happen when we share our dreams. Even for me, I notice sometimes speaking it out, I might have a dream and think, I don't understand what this means. But then I tell my husband or someone else I know, and all of a sudden the words are coming out of my mouth. And I'm thinking, how did I not hear that this dream is this? It's like speaking it, suddenly it all makes sense. Yeah. And then there are many times when it doesn't make sense, but the person who I'm talking to, if they ask me a question or they share something with me, then it lets me see it in a new way. And so it's this beautiful way of deepening your dream experience. And so that'll be a part of the class too, is that we'll get to share with each other and reflect back for other people, and maybe even ask questions. Because sometimes what seems like an insignificant detail, the more that you talk about it, the more it may become significant. So example, like the animals and pairs, at first that might not seem significant, although it seemed like you thought it was cool. But it's like, if we went deeper into that and I started asking you more questions, you might start thinking of it in a new way and realize different feelings or awareness that you have about it.
That's really cool. And when do you foresee your course coming out?
Oh, my goal is to have it out in January. So right now my kids are on holiday break and all that, but my goal is to get it up and running pretty quickly, because I want folks to be able to join. And it'll be one of those things where I think this will air maybe in later January or mid, but I will repeat it because it's a lot of fun to share dreams with others and connect. So on my website, I'll have a link. And if it's not time to sign up, you'll be able to sign up for a wait list and know when the next starting date is for the next time I'm offering it.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm really excited for all of this and for your venture and course. I think so many people are going to learn so much from you. Dreams are like,
oh, thank you.
Awesome. So yeah, before you go, I would love for you to share either a mantra or affirmation that means the most to you.
Yes. So one that I've been working with a lot lately that I really like, and feel free, all of you listening, to change it to what feels good for you, but it's that it is safe for you to be successful. And when I say it for me, I say it is safe for me to be successful. And I feel that and I repeat it. And every time I feel it, I think, oh yeah, feeling safe and successful feels really good.
Yes, I love that. And you know what? So sorry to sorry to do this. So my last episode we talked about having one word for the year.
Oh yes.
I think you just made me think of my word. I think I'm going to do safety, because safety is perfect, because it's more than just, feeling physically safe from not getting hit by a bus or something.
Right.
But so I think, you helped me figure out my word.
Woo! I'm so excited. And also to connect it back to this lion, because I was thinking of this before. Sometimes dreams will show me, oh, this is a symbol that means something for me. So I'll make a picture, have it out so I can see it a lot. So I feel like lions are very much like protectors. And when I was just thinking, if you want to blend those two together, you could, have a picture that has the word safety and then this lion who's helping you keep safe and making you feel all the safety feelings.
Oh, that's a good idea. Look it. I got so much. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. Yeah, I agree. We have it's so funny that you said this. I was thinking about buying this like a gold lion, or like maybe not real gold, but a gold lion to put on my desk. So yay! Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining me today. It's been such a pleasure speaking with you and learning so much from you. So I really appreciated this.
Oh yeah, Bree, this was so much fun. Thank you.
So with that, as all of you know, you are loved, you are worthy, you are cherished, and we are proud of you. Until next time on the Pre-Pod.